Hi everyone, it's Keely here for Soy and Shea, and thank you so much for joining me for today's soap making video where we're making the second of the 4 Halloween soaps I have on offer this year. Today we're going to go and make spiced pumpkin, but this soap certainly didn't go smoothly. Let's go and see what happened. Alright, so we are all set and ready to make this pumpkin spice soap. I've got my oils and my live water down to room temperature here. And we're going to start, as always, by adding that live water in gently, making sure we don't get any splashback. Then we'll split it up for the colours and add in our fragrance. Alright, so we've got that just to emulsion there. It's not quite at light trace, but it is all held together nicely. Into this pot I have got some elusive mica, and in here I have got some mocha, which is a beautiful chocolatey brown colour. And the aim is, if everything goes well, is to do a drop swirl into some pumpkin orange as my base colour. Now that is providing it all plays well. If it doesn't, we'll end up doing the classic plip plop. So I've got my pumpkin in there. I'm going to get my colours mixed in, and then we'll add in our fragrance. Alright, let's get this stinky fragrance in here. As I said with my spiced apple soap, this is the only time of year you will find me working with fragrances which are heavy on that cinnamon spice sort of mix. They make me feel so ill. Like, fragrances don't usually bother me. The only one that does kind of bother me is sandalwood by itself. It gives me quite a headache, but when it's blended I'm fine. But this cinnamon smell, it just makes me feel so sick in the stomach. I really do not like it. But on saying that, even though I don't actually like the smell, I think this is going to be one that everyone else is going to really love. It's got that really nice creamy smell to it as well that people like. It's weird. I don't like the smell, but it is a nice smell. I know, that just doesn't make sense. When you actually do this as a living and you're thinking about fragrances for other people, you kind of get that sort of difference between, you know what you do and don't like, but you can also say what is going to be nice in a range. So even though you don't particularly like something, you know that it's still going to make a really nice product that a lot of other people are going to like. And this is one of them, this pumpkin one. My husband smelt this one and he said it smelled really, really good. And he really enjoyed it, or enjoyed the smell of it. So as I said, I'm going to try and do a drop pour. Let me grab a mold. Here we go. This one is behaving much better than what my apple one did. So let's pour all of that out because we're not going to need any of it. I'll scrape the rest out in a moment. Just don't want to tempt fate. Let's pull it back a bit so you can see what's going on. As I said with the apple soap, it has been so long since I've made soap that just things go wrong. Oh dear, it really is one of those things. If you don't laugh, you will cry. Let me get this cleaned up. I don't think you can actually see what I've done. So if you're going to do something, you may as well do it good. I've got to get this lot back into the mould, and hopefully it doesn't set up on me while I'm doing it. I might just give up with this soap altogether. I went to move it again and it all sloshed out the other end. So this is definitely a very fluid fragrance. Probably a little bit too fluid. So now I've got to clean this end up. Right, I have cleaned up my mess as much as I possibly can. Now, I'm pretty sure that my floors in this shop are slanted. I actually feel it when you're walking around, and I can see that my soap mold is also slanted. Now look, we've messed around with that so much. Oh dear. maybe I shouldn't make any more soap today. No, I need to keep persevering. We need to get the Halloween soaps out. It is the beginning of September, and because of everything that we've been trying or been doing, I just haven't got it done. I did contemplate doing my Halloween soaps before I left the other shop, but it was still, you know, June. Well, I would have had to have made them in May to get them off the cure rack for when I wanted them off, and there was just so much else going on. I thought, no, I'll have plenty of time when we move. I wasn't expecting to be out of the shop for as long as I was, and that is something I have learned about setting up a shop, is that it does actually, not the actual setting up of the shop, that's not what took the time. It is the legal side of things, waiting for everyone, particularly the lawyers, to get their butts together and get you the information so that you can actually get on with life. It just, I don't know, I thought it was just the first time I took on a shop that I'd had the issue, and that maybe the agent wasn't quite as professional, because all the information, like the contract, was written up by the agent, and it took me weeks to get my original contract out of them. But my lawyer did actually tell me when I was doing this one, and I said how annoyed I was that it had taken the landlord's lawyer 2 weeks to actually send through what was a relatively simple contract. He said it's really typical that side of things, getting the contract out of them for the shops, is what takes the longest. I mean, literally, once I had that contract in my hot little hand, it took less than a week to get everything signed off. But then you actually, because of the size of the contract, I also needed a week between signing it and being given the keys. So it really did kind of change how I was having to plan things. I was meant to have the keys a week earlier. Sorry, there's someone doing the leaf blowing out the front of the shops there, so I've just had to stop talking. So yeah, the whole process of getting into the shop actually took so much longer than what I think it personally should take. The contracts for the shops are pretty much bulk standard. There was nothing extra about what I was doing, so it should have been a very basic template. And given that the previous person that was in here before me really wasn't in here that long, there should have been a sort of base template, and all they should have had to have done was changed my name and the dates. But no, that's why I'm not a lawyer, because I don't understand why it took them so long to do it up. But it has actually put me so far behind on what I need to do. So even though I'm making an absolute mess today, I have to keep persevering. We have to get these Halloween soaps on the cure rack so that they are ready for the beginning of October. So now we can put our little embeds on here. Now I haven't done any footage on how I've made them, because I have done this plenty of times before. I'll leave a link up in the top right hand corner so you can check out how I usually make my little pumpkins. I also made some little cinnamon sticks, and to do those I just took a bit of soap dough and I put it through the planer, and then I rolled them up to look like little cinnamon sticks. So they're going to go on here as well. And then what we're going to do is grab my little trusty ruler and put some lines on here so I know where my soap is going to get cut. I'm just using my stainless steel ruler just to put a couple of lines. Right, so now I've got those on there. Let's get our little pumpkin. So I'm just going to put it off to one side and then have a little cinnamon stick poking out on that side. I'm going to take my gloves off to do that because the cinnamon sticks are a little bit fiddly. We'll start by putting on all of my pumpkins like so. Oh look, the little vines are going to go in different directions on each pumpkin. just to finish off, just to give it a bit of sparkle, we have got some of the Extravagance Gold mica. Just give that a bit of a fluff there. And there it is, the world's messiest spiced pumpkin soap is in the mold. All of that soap is in the mold, despite everything that happened while making it. I'm going to leave this one set up overnight, and we'll be back to see what those drops actually look like in this one. Alright, it is the next day and we are ready to cut into pumpkin spice, and I'm really hoping the cutting of this one is going to go so much smoother than what the making of this one did. Let's get this one lined up in Ida. It's not smelling as strong in the soap as what I thought it might smell, but hopefully as it sits on the cure rack that smell will come through a little bit more. It's not a bad thing. We're actually not lined up on here properly at all. It's not a bad thing at all that it's actually mellowed out in smell. There we go. And sometimes when they do that, they do come back during the cure. Let's get cut through it. Ooh, and see if we've just got a disaster on the inside. Alright, so this was, I think I went to do the, yeah, that's right, we went to do a drop swirl. We've only got one drop of colour on that side, but there is a little bit more on that side, which you'll see on this next one. In fact, it's going to be actually easier for me to pick them up like this and show you instead. So there's not too much of a drop, but again, with all the messing around that I had to do with this one, I'm trying to get that soap back into the mold. I'm surprised I've got anything going in here at all. Love the top with the little pumpkin on it as well. Probably with the amount of trouble I was having, I should have actually grabbed the chopstick and done a chopstick swirl. Oh, there we go. We've got a bit more colour. That looks like a big pear in there. But yeah, I'm not disappointed with it at all. I'm really happy that we actually managed to get something into the mold here, and it's actually just got that real delicate sort of look to it. And as I said, hopefully it will actually intensify in that smell. At the moment it's got this like really creamy sort of smell. It's lost a lot of the spice that it originally had, but that's not a bad thing, as I said. So let's grab a couple more. I think these are all going to be very basic sort of drops in here. Let's grab one, just a couple more down and have a look. Oh, there's hardly anything in that one, so that one didn't work at all. Anyhow, I hope you've enjoyed coming along as I made my pumpkin spice soap. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. And until the next video comes out, which is hopefully a much smoother soaping experience, I hope you have a good one and I will see you then. Bye.